The state of Texas has a lot to be excited about this season between the new additions of Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks and Kevin Durant of the Houston Rockets. But I think the best team here is the San Antonio Spurs, led by Victor Wembanyama, who has now been cleared for the 2025-26 season. Victor Wembanyama, otherwise known as Wemby, or to some people, an alien, because he does many things that 7'4" guys should not be able to do. He can put the ball on the floor and score off the dribble. He can expand the floor and shoot three balls from Curry range, basically. He can post up, block shots, you name it, he's got it. His footwork is impeccable, and honestly should have been the Defensive Player of the Year last year, but had a little bit of a speed bump. Wemby has a way of getting a lot of block shots. Of course, he's 7'4", we expect that. But because he's 7'4", but also because he doesn't give up on any plays, he's able to recover and sometimes get a block. And now he averaged 3.8 blocks per game and 1.1 steals on a 107.7 defensive rating in 46 games last year before blood clots. And he clearly would have been Defensive Player of the Year last year. Listen, when we talk about offense on this show, we usually talk about body control, and here it's very significant because at 7'4", you're not supposed to move like this. And again, like we've seen in previous videos, a shoulder bump and a step back to get open is something a guard does. And here we also see phenomenal footwork by Wemby in the post, getting to a fadeaway that guys like Kobe, MJ, Carmelo Anthony are able to do. Not guys at 7'4". And we just got done talking about Wemby's active hands on the defensive side of the court, but we also just got done talking about things that he shouldn't be able to do. And here we see him running out in transition, leading the break and getting an assist. And we just got done talking about how Wemby on defense can create stops, and this also creates easy buckets. And for a guard-led team, getting out in transition is not the worst thing, with Harper Jr., Stephon Castle, and De'Aaron Fox all on the squad. Just a reminder to rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as they help us the most, but also go check out all of our socials, like, subscribe, comment. You will not want to miss Move of the Week every Wednesday on all socials, as Wemby does his own version of the Smitty here. I just got done talking about all the things that Wemby can do that most guards can do, but even if he didn't have guard skills, he would still be a very high-valued center in the league, because he can still rim protect. That's step one. That's how Rudy Gobert, who got blocked in this past play, made a living. Step two, he is also able to be a role guy on the offensive end of the court, and obviously CP3 being your teammate benefits. And just for good measure, let's watch Rudy Gobert get blocked once again. He is my least favorite person in the league, if y'all didn't know that. So I'm just going to enjoy this clip and let's just move on. If you're Zubac on this play, there's not a whole lot that you can do. And we just got done talking about Wemby being a good role guy. But with his height advantage, you need to be a little bit more aware. Zubac against normal centers is in very good positioning here. The only thing that I would advise differently is that Zubac needs to put a body on Wemby before he can even get to the rim. There's too much space behind Zubac's body here as his back's turned, and Wemby can just rise over the top, and he should have been called for an and one on the undercut. The Spurs are the biggest threat in the state of Texas next year because of their ability to turn defense into offense, and with the new guard play. And they're all a young core around Wemby, so I expect them to grow and improve as time goes on, but I think they're ready to win now. Wemby could be an MVP candidate this next year, and I think that's something to look forward to, as he was supposed to be a Defensive Player of the Year, but he also is the number one option and leader of this team. I don't know how we always find time to rewind back to our Jalen Green episode, which, by the way, if you haven't checked it out, please do so. But Jalen Green, again, athletic, bouncy, in transition. But Wemby getting back in transition as a center is absolutely one of the best things you can see as he blocks the dunk at the rim. And who also would have thought we would have been talking about Victor Wembanyama's off-ball movement as they're setting a pin-down screen that he just happens to curl down the middle of the paint, and it doesn't take him much to get to the rim and dunk. But again, something he can do that a guard can do, go off the ball. and create open space for open shots. So, to all the viewers, I do have a question for you. How do you slow Wemby down on the offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball? Because we're looking at a way that Victor Wembanyama can do pretty much anything on offense. And he can assist if he's doubled. He can score one on one. You put the best defender in the league on him, and he's still shooting over the top. What would you do? On defense, he's in drop coverage because he can easily recover. He can switch out if needed because he is agile. How do you take him out of the game defensively? I think this is a prime reason why he could be an MVP candidate. And it's just a little bit of thought here and wondering what you guys would do to scheme against this. If it were up to me, I would find some way to play some kind of trap zone or just trap in general out of man and see if we can force his hand and make him a playmaker first. I think he has no problem with doing this. However, if you do this, you don't have to deal with him having easy shots. I think I would rather take the one on one help side rotation defense against someone like De'Aaron Fox for how crazy that sounds because he was used to being a number one option in Sacramento before moving to San Antonio in a trade. So there's a lot of things to think about, but the Spurs roster is almost to the point of pick your poison because they have good young talent and basically two number one options offensively between De'Aaron Fox and Wembanyama. I would definitely double. And then defensively, Wemby I would probably put in any kind of screen actions possible and probably off ball if I could. Just because I think off ball screens would distract him from being a rim protector. If he is guarding the ball screener, I think that still puts him in position to recover on the roll man and still be a rim protector. What do you guys think? I am happy that we have received wonderful news as of yesterday that he has been cleared for the 2025-26 season from his blood clot situation that he was dealing with last year. So I'm happy that he is healthy. And finally, we can see him with a team that looks like a winning roster. And I'm almost excited for the whole state of Texas at this point because I believe Dallas, with Kyrie coming back, will be pretty good and a playoff caliber team. KD on the Rockets in general makes them a playoff caliber team. And prayers up to Fred VanVleet. I hope he feels better and gets better soon. Wishing him the best of luck. And the San Antonio Spurs in the acquisition of De'Aaron Fox last year and Harper Jr. in this past offseason's draft. I think Texas has a lot to look forward to going into this year. And honestly, the NBA is going to be the most exciting that it's ever been because of this guy specifically, Victor Wembanyama. Once again, remember to like and subscribe on all platforms, rate and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as those help us the most. This has been another episode of Court Vision, a Life in the Stands production. My name is Jake Bender, and remember, the film never lies.